What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers absolutely dominated and manhandled the Oklahoma City Thunder, best team in basketball. Line them up, and the Lakers will knock them down. They controlled and dominated that game, literally start to finish, and won by 27, and were up 20 pretty much the entire game, right? Every time the Thunder made their push or made their run or anything like that, boom, Lakers showed up, handled business, did what they were supposed to do, right? And that's the team that I fully believe can win an NBA championship. The team we saw that brought the effort, the energy, the intensity, right? Never let up, never relinquished, made the adjustments, right? I mean, Rui was looking like he was prime Jared Vanderbilt out there, right? Like defensive. Guys really stepped up. They understood the assignment, credit the coaching staff, right? And they knew how important this game was. Showed up, handled business, and won. That version of the Lakers beats any team in the league in a 7-game series. Without it, I don't care who it is. Right? That team beats anybody. A huge part of that was Luka. That was probably the best, in my opinion. It was the best and most Luka has looked since being a Laker. Like, without a doubt. Right? Luka's had some great games. Don't get me wrong. He's had some really nice games. Right? He's put up more points, all that stuff. This was the most like Luka magic that Luka has looked on the Lakers. And I loved every second of it. That's the Luka we need. That's the Luka that I believe can win us and lead us to a championship. That's the Luka that has done more with less than what he currently has with the Lakers. That's the Luka that no team in the playoffs wants to play. Every team in the playoffs fears to play. That's the Luka that is leading this team to an NBA championship, right? He was assertive. He was hitting shots. He was confident. He was talking his mess, right? He was hitting circus shots and one circus shot. I mean, the guy was just everything he could ask for and then some, right? Confidence was up. And I hope that continues. But here's the thing. Luka was having his struggles shooting the basketball leading into that Pelicans game. And one of the things that I really talked about and highlighted, one, not worried about Luka. I'm not going to be worried about Luka. Even if Luka was still having his struggles shooting the basketball, I still wouldn't worry about Luka, right? Playoff Luka and regular season Luka are very different things. Context matters. There's things, right? Does he deserve some criticism for his recent performance, recent play? Sure, but not worried about it, right? Luka's game is tailor-made for the playoffs. Right? He's a guy that's going to show up and elevate. Right? Again, context matters, circumstances matter. The guy missed 7 weeks. He's on a brand new team. The team before that was dragging him through the mud. Right? He's trying to learn how to play alongside LeBron and Austin Reeves. We'll touch on that here more in a moment. All of that. Right? He had some struggles early on. Had some inconsistencies because we had games where he was great. He had games where he was giving you 40. Right? But he had his inconsistencies. One of the things that I really wanted to highlight was the Pelicans game, right? Coming off of that Warriors game, which was probably his worst game as a Laker. I talked about how playing the Pelicans may be one of the best things for the Lakers because it's kind of a practice for them. I know that might sound, a little harsh or whatever for the Pelicans, but it's reality, right? Pelicans are done. They've packed it in. They're trying to play for a thing, right? Like they're a draft pick, right? For the Lakers, you can kind of work through some stuff. You can kind of figure out some things. You can kind of get yourself back into a rhythm. You're not going up against this elite defense or anything like that, right? Like you're in a position that is very beneficial for a team that's going through some struggles and needs to figure some stuff out. And you saw them work on some stuff. You saw them, do a few things that definitely translated come the Thunder game. But you also saw Luka finally get into a rhythm. Now, he started the Pelicans game 0 of 7. He finished that Pelicans game 10 of 14. And you saw that translate into the Thunder game, which is why I thought that Pelican game was so important for this team. Not in the sense of wins, losses. Obviously, we needed the win, but more so on what this could do to kind of build and prep the Lakers, who were having their, I mean, the team as a whole was having their struggles. Team as a whole, like, yeah, they beat the Rockets and they beat the Memphis Grizzlies, which was great. But before that, they were all over the place, losing to Chicago and just had, they had that stretch where they lost like 7 out of 9 or whatever it was. Like they didn't look like the team that they were, a couple weeks earlier. And sometimes you need that team that you can kind of figure it out. You can put some stuff together. Again, Luka has his struggles early on, but you're not playing this, top tier team where it's like, all right, we need Luka to stop shooting, otherwise you're not going to win this game, right? Like, no, it's like, hey, you're still within range, still good. Lakers are looking fine. They're winning. Like, they're clearly better. They're going to create that separation and do what they need to do. And, Luka's 0-7, but don't worry, get some more shots up, kind of shoot yourself out of it. Again, guys have bad nights. LeBron had a stretch earlier in the season where, he was like 0-21 from 3 and had probably the worst game of his career. And, he just kept shooting. Everyone was like, why is he shooting so much? Because he's trying to get himself back into a rhythm. And then he fixed it and he was fine ever since, right? Luka, that's the thing. I even said, could that Pelicans game be the game that we look at and point to and go, that was the moment Luka figured it out and finally became the Luka we know and love? There's going to be that moment. There was that moment for LeBron. There was that moment for Austin Reeves. Remember, Austin Reeves was having his struggles earlier in the season. Austin Reeves was having his inconsistencies early in the season. Then he had that one game where he just boom, and he never looked back. I'm hoping that Pelicans game is the game where that happened. But again, context matters, right? And this is where I want to bring back the Austin Reeves and LeBron. It's very easy to integrate a role player, right? Dorian Finney-Smith, for example. He comes to the Lakers, immediately has an impact, immediately becomes our best plus-minus guy every single night. Why? Because, hey, you know what you've done your entire career? Yeah, do that here. It's another thing when you're integrating a star that's used to X amount of attempts and roll and shots and everything, right? And then to add in one of the highest usage players, one of the most ball-dominant players in history. Not just like in modern NBA history. Oh yeah, and LeBron James is also one of those guys. Oh yeah, and Austin Reeves is best with the ball. There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be an adjustment period. There's going to be things. They will be fine. I trust this team. I trust Luka. I trust them to figure it out. And hopefully they did. They looked like they figured it out in that Thunder game. Right? Job's not finished. You still have a lot more that you need to do. Lot of job ahead. But this was a huge step in the right direction. Handle your business. Do what you're supposed to do. Let's continue to rattle off some games here, right? You got 4 games left. I would love to win all of them. Got to win at least 2, but I'd love to win all of them. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Yes, Luka, he found his magic. Finally, how do you think, like, hey, you still want to see more? All of that. Obviously, we need to see him continue and be consistent and all that stuff. But look, Luka, even through his struggles, was still averaging 28, 8, and 9, right? I will take that. But he was inefficient, and he was having his inconsistencies. I'm glad he found it. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.